Rai, thank you for speaking with us today. Can you talk about the importance of continuing to share these stories and educate people on the residential school system?
In the program that we're sharing out with youth across the country right now, Janet Longclaws from Long Plains says something very simple but very beautiful. These stories matter because survivors matter. And it's incredibly important that we honor residential school survivors, their experiences, their hopes, their dreams, through listening and continuing to listen.
What do you hope the 500,000 or so people who took part in this event take away or learn from it?
At another point in the program that we're sharing with people across the country today, Gord Downey, actually, of all people, says that this is the first generation in Canadian history growing up with the full knowledge of what happened in the residential schools and hearing the call for reconciliation. That's exceptionally powerful. You know, kids are starting their lives now with the benefit of this knowledge. We will continue to see the effects of them knowing this, them understanding this history for generations to come, and it will absolutely make for a more just and fair country, because you can't help but feel the need for the change when you listen to the survivors.
The government has tabled a bill to make Orange Shirt Day a national stat holiday. What role did the centre play in that?
Well, of course, we continue to support all of the calls to action issued by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. That National Day for Truth and Reconciliation was an important call to action issued by the TRC. We have appeared in front of committees. We've attended with survivors and others. We've talked to a lot of people. We've been generally trying to push that along, because it's exceptionally important that we continue to anchor these national days of honoring and remembrance into our collective consciousness. It's very important that we gather each and every year to continue this very hard work that lay ahead of us.
So what is next for the National Centre for Truth and Reconciliation?
Well, there's always a lot of work that we have to do, but I really think the step that we've taken here today by providing really a lot of really great resources out to teachers is an incredibly important step. These resources that are now in their hands will be something that they can continue to use, can continue to go back to. And there's many questions that are raised. For example, you know, Wilton Littlechild, the former commissioner of the TRC, talks about the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. There's calls to action for that. There is legislation that we still need to see. Canadians need to understand how important that UN Declaration is to ensure that reconciliation continues and that the great injustices are stopped. So there's a lot more dialogue that we have to have in this country. There's a lot more education, and the Centre is just so incredibly honored to be a part of all of this.
Well, thank you, Rai. I want to thank you again for your time and really appreciate that.
Thanks for having me on.